Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed that the storms in life don't come with a warning? One moment the sun is shining bright, and the next you're standing in the middle of a downpour wondering how you got here. But let me tell you something very important. It is not the storm that defines you, it is how you respond to it. Many people look at difficult moments in life and immediately assume that they are being punished, that the universe is somehow against them, or that they are somehow unworthy of ease. Happiness, it is easy to fall into this trap because pain, disappointment, and struggle naturally feel unfair. When things go wrong, our first instinct is often to question why this is happening to us, and to blame circumstances or other people. But this perspective, while understandable, is not the most empowering. Hard times are not sent to break us. They are sent to awaken something within us that we might not even know exists. They are opportunities for self-discovery and growth, moments in which we are invited to uncover the hidden reserves of strength, courage, and resilience that lie dormant beneath our comfort zones. When life becomes challenging, it forces us to dig deeper, to examine our beliefs, our priorities, and the ways we respond to adversity. It is in these moments that we have a choice, to shrink, to complain, or to rise to the occasion. Choosing to see hardships as opportunities rather than punishments shifts our entire perspective. Instead of feeling victimized, we begin to feel empowered. We realize that the struggle is temporary, but the growth we achieve in response to it is lasting. Every obstacle, every setback, and every moment of discomfort is a mirror reflecting our untapped potential. It challenges us to cultivate patience, to practice perseverance, and to embrace creativity in finding solutions. By reframing hard times as a natural part of life's journey, we begin to see them as teachers rather than tormentors. They reveal our capacity for courage we never knew we had, the depth of our determination, and the clarity of our values. It is through struggle that we gain wisdom, resilience, and a profound understanding of ourselves. In essence, hard times are the crucibles in which the strongest versions of ourselves are forged. The moments that feel most difficult are often the very moments that prepare us for the life we are capable of living, the life we are meant to create, and the power we are capable of realizing. Life is unpredictable, and storms will inevitably arrive. Sometimes they appear as sudden events, like a job loss, a health scare, or a personal betrayal. Other times they are slow, creeping difficulties that build over months or even years. It is natural to feel overwhelmed, powerless, or even defeated when these storms hit. However, the truth is that no matter how severe the storm is, it is not the storm itself that determines the trajectory of your life. It is your response to it. The same circumstances can lead one person to despair and another to profound growth, and the difference lies entirely in the mindset, choices, and actions of the individual facing the challenge. Every difficulty is like a test, and not in the sense of a punishment, but as an opportunity to demonstrate inner strength. When faced with adversity, you can choose to resist, complain, or give up, which may prolong suffering and create unnecessary emotional pain. On the other hand, choosing to respond with courage, patience, and intentionality can transform hardship into a stepping stone. How you respond shapes your character, your perspective, and ultimately the quality of your life. Responding well does not mean pretending everything is perfect or denying the reality of the situation. It means acknowledging the difficulty, accepting that life is imperfect, and consciously deciding how you will act and think in response. This approach fosters resilience, empowering you to navigate future challenges with greater ease. It also trains the mind to focus on what can be controlled, your thoughts, emotions, and actions, rather than being consumed by what is beyond your control. Over time, this practice of mindful and intentional response becomes a habit, and life itself becomes less intimidating. The storms may continue to come, but your ability to navigate them strengthens with each experience. In this way, the trials that once seemed unbearable become catalysts for personal transformation. They reveal the depth of your endurance, the clarity of your values, and the creative solutions you are capable of generating. Understanding that your response matters more than the storm itself is liberating, because it shifts the power from external circumstances to your own hands. It teaches that no matter what life presents, you are never helpless, and that the path to growth, wisdom, and inner peace is forged not by avoiding storms, but by learning to move through them with intention. One of the most powerful truths in life is that your mindset directly shapes your experience of the world. The way you perceive challenges, setbacks, and opportunities determines not only how you feel, but also how you act and what outcomes you ultimately achieve. When fear and doubt dominate your thoughts, they act like invisible chains, restricting your ability to move forward and clouding your perception of what is possible. Fear convinces you that you are small, that the obstacles are insurmountable, and that failure is inevitable. Doubt whispers constantly that your efforts are useless, that you are not capable, and that the circumstances around you define your destiny. When these mental patterns take hold, even small problems can feel overwhelming, and progress becomes slow or non-existent. On the other hand, when you cultivate a mindset rooted in faith, courage, and the belief in possibility, life transforms in ways that may seem almost miraculous. Faith gives you the strength to trust in yourself and in the natural unfolding of events. It allows you to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear or the outcome uncertain. Courage is the willingness to take action despite fear, to step into discomfort, and to embrace the unknown with confidence. Possibility expands your awareness, helping you to see opportunities where others see obstacles and to imagine solutions where others see dead ends. Developing this mindset is not about ignoring reality or pretending that life is without difficulty. It is about choosing where to focus your energy and which mental patterns to nurture. By consciously shifting from fear and doubt to faith and courage, you change not only how you feel, but also how you interact with the world. Opportunities that once seemed hidden begin to appear, solutions become clearer, and relationships improve because your outlook is infused with positivity and possibility. Every thought you think and every belief you hold becomes a lens through which you interpret your experiences. By strengthening the lens of faith and courage, you empower yourself to respond effectively to challenges, to learn from mistakes, and to move steadily toward your goals. Over time, this conscious cultivation of mindset leads to a life that feels abundant, meaningful, and aligned with your highest potential, because you are no longer limited by fear, but guided by the power of possibility. Certainly. Here's an in-depth explanation of **Point 4. Hardship is the soil of growth like a seed underground. Struggles nurture your transformation and development. In about 450 words, motivational and reflective in style. Life often tests us in ways that feel uncomfortable, challenging, or even unfair. At first glance, hardship may seem like an obstacle designed to hold us back, to keep us from achieving our goals, or to punish us for our mistakes. Yet if we shift our perspective, we begin to see that hardship is not an enemy, it is a fertile ground for growth. Just as a seed must be buried in the dark soil, enduring pressure and the weight of the earth before it can sprout into a strong, flourishing plant, we too must experience struggle in order to develop resilience, strength, and wisdom. The process of facing difficulties, navigating setbacks, and confronting uncertainty forces us to examine our character, values, and priorities in ways that comfort never could. When life challenges us, it asks us to dig deeper, to tap into inner resources that we might not have realized existed. Each trial becomes a training ground for the mind, body, and spirit, shaping us into individuals capable of greater empathy, creativity, and courage. It is through hardship that we discover the limits of our endurance and then learn to push beyond them. The discomfort we feel in the moment is temporary, but the transformation it produces can last a lifetime. Just as the seed uses the darkness to develop roots that will support it for years to come, we use our struggles to develop inner strength, mental clarity, and emotional stability. This process also teaches patience, as growth does not happen instantly, and it instills a deeper appreciation for the moments of ease and joy that follow. Without challenges, we might never fully understand our potential or the depth of our capabilities. Struggle shapes our perspective, guiding us to focus on what truly matters and helping us shed what is unnecessary or unhelpful. It also cultivates gratitude, humility, and compassion as we recognize that life's journey includes both highs and lows. By embracing hardship as the natural soil of growth rather than something to resist or resent, we shift from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment. Every difficulty, every moment of uncertainty, every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen our roots, expand our reach, and prepare ourselves for the life we are capable of living. I can continue with point 5 next in the same detailed 450 word motivational style, so you eventually have a complete series. Do you want me to do that? Certainly. Here's a detailed explanation of point 5. Challenges are teachers. Every difficulty carries a lesson or an opportunity to evolve, in about 450 words, written in a motivational and reflective style. Life is full of moments that test us, moments that feel uncomfortable, unfair, or even unbearable. These moments are often seen as obstacles, interruptions, or setbacks. But if we shift our perspective, we can recognize that challenges are among the greatest teachers we will ever encounter. Every difficulty, whether large or small, carries within it a lesson, an insight, or an opportunity to grow. The moment we encounter a problem, we are presented with a choice: to resist it, complain, and remain stagnant, or to approach it with curiosity, openness, and a willingness to learn. When we choose the latter, life transforms from a series of random hardships into a purposeful journey filled with wisdom and self-discovery. Challenges teach us about our inner strength. They reveal the limits we thought existed and show us that we are capable of more than we often give ourselves credit for. In the process of navigating adversity, we discover resilience, patience, and resourcefulness. Each trial becomes a mirror, reflecting our true nature and showing us where we need to grow, what beliefs may be limiting us, and which parts of ourselves are already strong and capable. Difficulties also teach humility, reminding us that life is bigger than any single individual and that some outcomes are beyond our control. This awareness encourages us to cultivate trust in ourselves, in the process of life, and in the unseen forces that guide our journey. Additionally, challenges inspire creativity and innovation, as we are often forced to think in new ways, to problem solve, and to adapt to situations we have never faced before. They encourage us to step outside of our comfort zones and expand the boundaries of what we believe is possible. Importantly, the lessons embedded in challenges are not always immediately obvious. Sometimes the insight comes long after the struggle has passed. But by maintaining an attitude of learning, reflection, and self-inquiry, we can extract wisdom from every experience. In this way, life's difficulties are not simply obstacles to overcome. They are invitations to evolve, to strengthen our character, and to become more conscious and empowered individuals. By embracing challenges as teachers rather than threats, we shift from a mindset of fear and avoidance to one of curiosity, courage, and possibility. I can continue with point 6 next in the same motivational style, if you want to complete the full series of explanation. Do you want me to do that? Many people go through life believing that happiness is something to be found outside themselves, that it depends on circumstances, possessions, achievements, or the behavior of others. When things are going well, they feel joyful, and when difficulties arise, they feel upset, frustrated, or defeated. Yet the truth is that happiness is not something handed to us by the world. It is a conscious choice that we make moment by moment. No matter the situation, we have the power to decide how we interpret and respond to it. External circumstances are always changing, unpredictable, and often beyond our control. Relying on them for happiness is like trying to build a house on sand. The foundation is unstable, and the structure will always be at the mercy of forces outside of us. True happiness comes from cultivating inner peace, clarity, and acceptance. It comes from recognizing that while we cannot control everything that happens, we can control our thoughts, our focus, and our attitude. When we choose to focus on gratitude, on what is present and positive in our lives, we invite joy to take root even in challenging situations. When we shift from blaming others or circumstances to taking responsibility for our own emotional state, we reclaim our power and free ourselves from the cycle of frustration and disappointment. Happiness is not the absence of problems. It is the ability to maintain inner balance, contentment, and peace despite them. By consistently choosing responses that align with positivity, compassion, and understanding, we strengthen our capacity for joy. Over time, this choice becomes a habit, a natural way of being that is less dependent on outside events and more grounded in our own sense of self. When we accept that happiness is an internal creation rather than an external reward, we discover a profound freedom. No matter what life presents, loss, setbacks, criticism, or uncertainty, we have the ability to maintain a calm mind, a resilient spirit, and a heart open to joy. This understanding empowers us to live fully in the present, to cherish what we have, and to approach every situation with clarity and courage. It allows us to experience a richness of life that is unshakable, not because the world is perfect, but because we have chosen a perspective that transcends circumstance and embraces the deep truth that happiness is a decision we make within life, is filled with obstacles that appear unexpectedly and challenge us in ways we could never have anticipated. At first, these obstacles may feel like barriers designed to block our progress or to limit our potential. They can be frustrating, painful, and even disheartening. Yet it is precisely through these moments of difficulty that we discover the true depth of our resilience. Obstacles are like the tests of nature. They push us, stretch us, and force us to confront our limitations. It is in the face of adversity that we learn what we are truly capable of enduring and achieving. Every challenge, whether external or internal, provides an opportunity to strengthen our character, sharpen our focus, and expand our capacity for perseverance. When we encounter resistance, we are asked to dig deep, to find the inner resources that may have been hidden under comfort, routine, or complacency. The pressure of obstacles acts like a weight training for the soul. It develops strength, patience, and adaptability, qualities that remain with us long after the challenge has passed. Resilience is not simply about surviving difficulties. It is about using them as stepping stones for growth. By embracing obstacles rather than avoiding them, we cultivate a mindset that sees limitations as temporary and solvable rather than permanent and insurmountable. Each hurdle we overcome reveals the depth of our root, our foundational beliefs, values, and inner strength, and shows us how high we can reach when we are committed to growth. The more we face adversity with courage, determination, and clarity, the more confident we become in our ability to navigate future challenges. Over time, obstacles transform from intimidating barriers into opportunities for empowerment. They teach us not only how to endure, but also how to thrive under pressure, how to think creatively in difficult situations, and how to maintain balance when circumstances are unpredictable. By recognizing obstacles as catalysts for resilience, we shift from a mindset of fear and avoidance to one of strength, curiosity, and courage. Each trial becomes a testament to our capacity for growth, a measure of our fortitude, and a reminder that the human spirit is capable of extraordinary endurance and achievement. Faith in oneself is one of the most powerful forces a person can cultivate. Life will inevitably present storms, moments of uncertainty, loss, fear, or hardship that challenge your strength and determination. In these moments, it is not external circumstances that determine the outcome of your journey, but the degree to which you trust your own inner power. Believing in yourself means having confidence in your ability to navigate difficulties, to make choices aligned with your highest potential, and to persevere even when the path ahead is unclear. It is the quiet assurance that, no matter how overwhelming a challenge may appear, your spirit contains the strength, wisdom, and resilience needed to overcome it. Faith in yourself does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that obstacles do not exist. Rather, it is the acknowledgement that you possess the inner resources to meet them. When you cultivate this kind of self-trust, fear loses its grip and doubt diminishes. You begin to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to demonstrate courage and grow stronger. Just as a tree withstands the force of the wind because its roots are deep and its structure resilient, your spirit remains steadfast when it is grounded in faith in your own abilities. This faith allows you to remain calm in chaos, clear in confusion, and focused in the face of distractions. It empowers you to take action, to make decisions, and to move forward even when uncertainty looms large. Furthermore, trusting yourself strengthens your intuition and your connection to your inner wisdom. You begin to recognize that your instincts, insights, and understanding are guides that can help you navigate life's complexities with greater ease and confidence. Over time, faith in yourself becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. The more you trust your inner strength, the more challenges you overcome, and the more your confidence grows. This confidence then equips you to face even greater storms, secure in the knowledge that you are capable of withstanding them. In essence, self-faith is not just a mental concept. It is a living, breathing strength that shapes your reality, guides your choices, and enables you to rise above any difficulty. It reminds you that no matter what life presents your spirit is enduring, your potential is limitless, and you have the power within you to navigate, overcome, and thrive. The way we perceive our experiences has a profound impact on how we respond to them and the outcomes we create in our lives. Struggles, difficulties, and setbacks are a natural part of the human journey, yet they are not inherently negative. What determines whether a challenge diminishes us or elevates us is the perspective we choose to adopt. When we see hardships purely as obstacles, as unfair punishments, or as failures, we tend to respond with frustration, fear, or resignation. Our energy becomes focused on resistance, blame, and avoidance, and the opportunity for growth is obscured by the weight of negativity. On the other hand, when we intentionally shift our perspective and view struggles as opportunities for learning, self-discovery, and transformation, a remarkable change occurs. Hardships become catalysts for development, moments that reveal strengths we might not have known we possessed, and teach lessons that cannot be gained in comfort. Perspective is powerful because it shapes not only our emotional response, but also our behavior. A person who approaches difficulties with curiosity and openness is more likely to experiment, find creative solutions, and persist with determination. They recognize that every challenge carries hidden value, whether it is a lesson in patience, resilience, empathy, or innovation. This mindset transforms what once seemed like setbacks into stepping stones for progress. Life does not always give us control over external circumstances, but we always have control over how we interpret them. By consciously choosing to see obstacles through a lens of opportunity, we reclaim power from situations that might otherwise leave us feeling helpless. Perspective also enhances gratitude and mindfulness. When we recognize the potential gifts within challenges, we develop a deeper appreciation for the process of growth itself, rather than focusing solely on outcomes. Over time, this approach fosters emotional strength, clarity of purpose, and a sense of inner peace, even in the midst of difficulty. The ability to transform struggle into opportunity is not a natural skill for everyone. It requires practice, reflection, and conscious effort. But as it becomes habitual, life begins to feel less like a series of random hardships and more like a meaningful journey of personal evolution. Ultimately, perspective is the lens through which we experience the world, and by choosing one that empowers rather than diminishes, we ensure that challenges do not define us negatively, but instead shape us into wiser, stronger, and more capable versions of ourselves. Many people live their lives as if they are at the mercy of circumstances, waiting for the right opportunity, the perfect conditions, or someone else's approval to take action. Yet the truth is that your life is not something that happens to you. It is something you actively create with every thought, decision, and action. Each of us has an incredible power within, a capacity to shape our reality and design a life that aligns with our deepest values, passions, and aspirations. External difficulties, challenges, and setbacks are inevitable, but they do not define the life you are capable of living. When you fully embrace your personal power, you recognize that while you may not control every situation, you always have control over how you respond, the choices you make, and the direction you take. Creating your life requires courage, intentionality, and clarity. It begins with acknowledging that the power to change, grow, and succeed lies within you. It means refusing to let fear, doubt, or the opinions of others limit your potential. When you take ownership of your life, every challenge becomes an opportunity to make conscious decisions that reflect your values and goals. This mindset transforms obstacles from barriers into stepping stones, because you no longer rely on external conditions to determine your next step. You act with purpose, guided by your inner compass, rather than reacting out of fear or expectation. Embracing your power also requires self-awareness and reflection. It involves understanding your strengths and weaknesses, recognizing patterns that hold you back, and committing to actions that move you toward growth. Every choice you make contributes to the story of your life, and by consistently choosing actions aligned with your highest vision, you shape your experiences and outcomes. Life becomes a canvas, and you are the artist, capable of painting it with intention, creativity, and courage. This perspective fosters confidence, resilience, and a sense of freedom, because you understand that your happiness, success, and fulfillment are not dependent on others. They are the result of your conscious choices and efforts. By stepping fully into your power, you claim the life you were meant to live, regardless of the challenges that arise along the way. You recognize that every obstacle is temporary, and that the essence of life is not avoidance of difficulty, but the mastery of your own response and the active creation of the life you desire.